Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s recent comments have sent shockwaves through the NASCAR community. His criticisms of various aspects of the sport have raised concerns about its future direction. The 2025 Daytona 500 pre-race events became a focal point of controversy. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his wife Amy discussed the challenges they faced during this period on their show, Bless Your Heart. The presence of President Donald Trump significantly altered the usual proceedings. Amy Earnhardt described the atmosphere as crazy, stating, "Everything was locked down." She compared the energy to Super Bowl events but emphasized that the Daytona 500 was just so much bigger. Dale Earnhardt Jr. provided a more detailed account of the difficulties. He stated that President Trump's attendance made things 10 times more challenging. Only 40% of drivers arrived on time for the pre-race drivers' meeting. Security measures were intensified, with Earnhardt Jr. describing long queues and extensive screening procedures at every gate. The normal flow of events was disrupted. Typically, drivers would proceed to pre-race introductions immediately after the drivers' meeting. However, at this Daytona 500, they were advised against this to avoid repeated security screenings. Earnhardt Jr. summarized the situation. "It was just a circus. There were like a sea of people out in front of the racetrack not able to get in because it was taking so long to scan people and check things. It was wild." Amidst the controversy surrounding his pre-race comments, Dale Earnhardt Jr. made headlines in another area. The 2025 Daytona 500 marked JR Motorsports' debut in the Cup Series. Justin Allgaier drove the number 40 entry for the team. The debut proved successful. Allgaier secured a top 10 finish in the Traveler Whiskey-sponsored Chevy Camaro. This achievement represented a significant milestone for Earnhardt Jr. and his sister Kelly Earnhardt Miller. Despite this success, Earnhardt Jr. has maintained a cautious approach towards full-time Cup Series participation. NASCAR's Steve Phelps commented on the possibility of Earnhardt Jr. becoming a full-time Cup Series owner. Phelps stated, "They're the backbone of the sport. They've had a lot of success in the Xfinity Series and won last year's championship. This was the first time JRM fielded a car in the Daytona 500. I'm hoping they'll field more cars this year, and I'm not sure what's going to happen in the future. We'd love to see them run full-time, obviously." Josh Berry, formerly associated with Dale Earnhardt Jr., JR Motorsports, experienced a dramatic race at the Embedder Health 400 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Berry, now driving for Wood Brothers Racing, demonstrated impressive performance for much of the event. Starting from P3, Berry led the pack for 56 laps. His number 21 Ford showed strong potential throughout the race. However, the final moments proved challenging. On the last lap of overtime, Berry found himself caught between Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain in a battle for a top 5 finish. This intense competition resulted in Berry losing control and ultimately finishing in position 25. After the race, Berry shared his thoughts. He said, "We had a really fast car. We saw yesterday that all of our cars were fast, and I think Miles Stanley did a great job and Jason did a great job, and we were able to just kind of stay aggressive, stay on the offense, stay up front. I feel like I'm in a situation now where I can succeed, and we tried to make the most of it there, we just didn't. Obviously didn't get the finish we deserved." Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been vocal about his thoughts on racing at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Following the intense Embedder Health 400, Earnhardt Jr. shared his observations on the challenges drivers face at the track. He stated on social media, "Man, this racetrack has something special. I'm tensed up. What these drivers are doing is so mentally tough. Feels like everything is on edge." Earnhardt Jr.'s comments highlight the demanding nature of the Atlanta track. They emphasize the high level of skill required to compete effectively there. His insights, coming from a 2-time Daytona 500 winner and former Xfinity Series champion, carry significant weight in the NASCAR community. The Embedder Health 400 at Atlanta Motor Speedway began with an unexpected development. The first stage ran caution-free for 60 laps. This unusual occurrence caught Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s attention, prompting him to express his enthusiasm on social media. Earnhardt Jr. tweeted, "This race and track looked like a ton of fun this weekend at NASCAR at Atlanta Motor Speedway." His positive reaction to the racing at Atlanta contributes to the ongoing discussion about the track's role in the NASCAR schedule. The racing at Atlanta has been a topic of interest across various NASCAR series. Kyle Busch's narrow victory in the Truck Series race and Austin Hill's triumph in the Xfinity Series set the stage for an eventful Cup Series race. The intense racing at Atlanta led to heated moments between drivers. A notable incident occurred between Kyle Busch and Carson Hocevar. Busch, apparently frustrated with Hochevar's driving style, made threatening comments over the radio to his crew chief and spotter. Busch was quoted saying, "Go tell that 77 he's done that same fucking move 10 times. I don't care if I wreck the whole fucking field, I'm over him. He's a fucking douchebag, I'm going to wreck his ass."
Go tell that 77 he's done that same fucking move 10 times. I don't care if I wreck the whole fucking field, I'm over him. He's a fucking douchebag, I'm gonna wreck his ass.
Chase Elliott has expressed support for the recent reconfiguration of Atlanta Motor Speedway. This endorsement has drawn attention from Dale Earnhardt Jr., who admires Elliott's bold stance. Elliott's positive outlook on the track changes represents a forward-thinking approach. It demonstrates a willingness to embrace the evolution of the sport. His perspective stands out among the varied opinions surrounding the Atlanta Motor Speedway's transformation. Earnhardt Jr.'s support for Elliott's viewpoint adds weight to the ongoing discussion about track designs. It highlights their impact on racing quality. This situation also demonstrates the complex dynamics within the NASCAR community, where track configurations can be as influential as driver skills. Prior to the recent race at Atlanta Motor Speedway, Dale Earnhardt Jr. made a specific request regarding the racing package used at the track. His comments, shared on an episode of the Dale Jr. download, reveal his desire for change in NASCAR's approach to racing at Atlanta. Earnhardt Jr. stated, "Now we're going to Atlanta. This track can't change fast enough. Basically, we're going to go to Atlanta, and we're doing the same thing all over again. If I was Atlanta and NASCAR and whoever makes the decisions on competition, I would be looking for the very first opportunity to distance the package that we run there from what we run at Daytona and Talladega."
Man, now we're going to Atlanta, which this track can't change fast enough, because basically we're going to go to Atlanta and are we doing the same thing all over again? Are you going to Atlanta and are you saving fuel and doing all those things kind of the same way?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't see how you don't.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You tell me.
Well, I mean, if you got to minimize the stop time, and the only way to do that is save fuel.
Yeah.
So I imagine there's going to be some team cars that get up front, control the pace. Atlanta's a little bit more of a handling track.
Yeah.
There's going to be a little bit more of it. So
Every time we've gone back, it's reared its head a little more each time.
And I'm looking forward to that because I want to see guys go around the corner into 3 and be like, "I got a lift here, man. I hope he does too."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that creates opportunity. So,
If I was Atlanta and NASCAR and whoever makes the decisions on competition, man, I would be looking for the very first opportunity to distance the package that we run there from what we run at Daytona and Talladega.
He further elaborated, "I know we kind of do some, I'm sure, but I guess what I mean is not so much the package or the specific parts and pieces, but the style of racing. If this race is going to be the second race coming right off of what we see at Daytona, I don't want to do 2 weeks of this." These comments from Earnhardt Jr. suggest a desire for diversity in racing styles across different tracks. They highlight potential areas for improvement in NASCAR's approach to track-specific packages. Following JR Motorsports' impressive debut in the Daytona 500, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has shared insights into the team's future plans in the Cup Series. In a recent episode of the Dale Jr. Download podcast, Earnhardt Jr. discussed the possibilities for JRM's continued involvement in NASCAR's top tier. Earnhardt Jr. said,